I was a writer. I am a writer. I worked in magazine journalism for almost 35 years, but I wrote for women's magazines and city magazines and was an essayist on therapy, family issues, and then spirituality.
And so how did you transition from being a writer and working at magazines to becoming a funeral director and having your own funeral home?
Well, my dad's service was very powerful. We used music really successfully, and we were all well rehearsed. If I knew then what I know now, I don't know that I could have improved upon it, but it was out of that successful experience of sitting at my father's bedside, watching the hospice nurses and sitters assist him in the dying process, and then seeing his courageousness. It was all so remarkable that I came back to Brooklyn forever altered, and I thought, well, I could write about all that, or maybe I could do something. So within 6 months, I was enrolled in mortuary school, and the rest has been an amazing, transformative adventure. I became a licensed funeral director in 2012, and I realized that there is so little knowledge about the inside workings of the funeral business. And at the time, I think we've come a long way since then, but at the time, people really knew very little about cremation, green burial, things like that. So I began to blog with a wonderful funeral celebrant named Katie Ann Unilisi, and we launched the inspiredfuneral.com. Funeral directors and funeral celebrants are actually experience designers. We are designing experiences for grieving families, and it's not just the ceremony itself. There are 9 different moments in the whole end of life year, and there are many more of them, and we're going to discuss that in the workshop and figure out how to comfort a family, how to lead a service, how to assume a role of leadership within our family circle or friend group when a death has occurred or is in the process of occurring. So I think this workshop will be super useful to anyone interested in hospice work, in hospital chaplaincy, in funeral direction, in funeral leadership. And I have a fair amount of religious range. That's another thing about this workshop. I hope it's deeply interactive, where we can share our experiences with funerals of all sorts. So I bring my knowledge, and I know there will be a lot of knowledge in the room. I want participants to continue their own personal work in understanding ritual and its importance and commemorating particular remarkable moments. I want to validate those of us who are in positions of spiritual leadership, and help us guide others into seeing that, especially at the end of life, we're not just sliding through these experiences without commemoration or acknowledgement. We should really pause and savor these liminal times and spaces where life is not normal. And we can be tremendously powerful people by enriching these experiences and showing others how it's done, how to do it. One Spirit will be a really super great place to discuss how to bring ritual to secular families who've rejected religion but need something. People like me and the folks who will be attending this class want to do more, and it's not expensive. It doesn't add to the price of a funeral, but it really helps people see death in a new way and see their own deaths in a new way, and guide others going forward. One death in your life, a parent, a pet, can then sort of uplift you into managing the next one a little bit differently. It's inevitable that friends and family members are going to die, on us in the next 30 years. And then we're preparing for our own deaths as well. So this workshop will highlight, pinpoint, offer language and music to these 9 different moments. And I'm sure we'll discover many more. And we'll also study a bit, without appropriating, we'll study the other religious faiths and how to adapt language and ritual to fit a family and make it work. You can leave the workshop with a bit of a sketch on how you want your own body cared for at the end of your life, how you want, what poems and music would be satisfactory and meaningful to you, and have a bit of a sketch, because as much as we all talk about it, planning our own funeral is still something we postpone. I'm hoping that we can get and support each other and make up some kind of plan. And through our own desires, identify ways to help other people. So the funeral is its own ministry, and it's a really powerful thing to study and discuss.